Ceuta is 19 square kilometers of Spain on the coast of Africa. 83,000 people live there. It is one of only 2 places where the European Union touches Africa by land. In 24 hours, 49,000 people crossed into it. This is that week, day by day. Spain has held Ceuta since 1580. Morocco has never accepted it and calls it occupied. The border is the pressure valve, and Morocco controls which way it leaks. 83,000 people live in Ceuta, 49,000 crossed in one day. That is the highlighted part of the crowd. 14 kilometers of water separate Africa from Europe here, but Ceuta is on the African side. You do not need a boat to reach it. You need to get past a fence. And almost nobody climbed the fence. They walked around it, up the coast road from Fnideq, or they swam around it, 5 kilometers past the end of the breakwater. Both routes end inside the European Union. It had been trickling for 10 days. On the 30th of July, it became a crowd. Ceuta declared an emergency and asked Madrid for troops. Madrid refused to call it a national emergency and sent 60 personnel. 60. This is the border camera feed on the morning of the 31st, photographed inside the Guardia Civil control room. Every figure on that breakwater is a person crossing. By the next morning, the Spanish government counted 49,000 in 24 hours. Ceuta's own mayor said 60,000. Same day, same side of the border, 11,000 people apart. This is what the Guardia Civil were watching on the border cameras while it happened, the breakwater and the crowd coming round the end of it. This is where people died. Some drowned on the swim. Others were crushed against the breakwater where the water route comes ashore, and the crowd behind it does not stop. In one day, the reported toll went from 9 to 18 to 34. Nobody was lying. The number was simply arriving slower than the people were. That afternoon, Sanchez flew in with his interior minister, walked the fence line, and stood in the control room watching the crossings come in on the monitors. Then he said this.
En segundo lugar, definir lo que ha sucedido en el día de ayer como un ataque, una violación de la integridad territorial de España.
An attack, a violation of territorial integrity. That is language for a state, not for a crowd of unemployed 20-year-olds with no weapons swimming around a breakwater. And then, the same day, it ran backwards. 25,000 went home by the afternoon, 48,000 by that evening. Most of the people who crossed on the 31st walked back out before the day was over. On the 1st of August, the Civil Guard laid a 500-meter floating barrier off the breakwater. A fence, but on water. The sea route thins out from here. By the 3rd of August, 70,000 had gone back. Between 3,000 and 5,000 had not, mostly people from sub-Saharan Africa, for whom Morocco was not home either. Among them, 862 children traveling alone. Ceuta had 29 places to put them. And then the hardest number, Spain officially recognized 78 dead. On the 6th of August, the president of Ceuta told the European Parliament it was 100, and a migrant rights monitor documented 63 more in hospital morgues in Tangier and Tetouan, which Rabat has not confirmed. 141. 3 counts of the same week. This video is not going to pick one. So why that week? A month earlier, Spain's Supreme Court ruled that people arriving by sea could not simply be handed straight back. Online in Morocco, that became something simpler and false. Swim to Ceuta and they cannot send you home. Morocco's own interior ministry later blamed misinformation. But a rumor only moves people who are already leaning. And youth unemployment there is near 40%. 10 days before the crossings, Sanchez went to Algiers, Morocco's rival over Western Sahara. Morocco has used this border as leverage before. In 2021, it loosened controls during a row over the same dispute. Rabat denies doing it again, and nobody has proven it. 5 years ago, the same border, the same tactic, 8,000 people and 2 deaths. This time, 10 times the people and 70 times the dead, because in 2021, most of them walked. Italy imposed border checks on Spain. 22 governments signed a letter blaming Spanish policy. On the 7th of August, Spain imposed checks right back. Free movement suspended in both directions, over a border the two countries do not share. 80,000 crossed, 70,000 went back. Somewhere between 78 and 141 did not survive it, and the border is exactly where it was. The ruling stands. The unemployment has not moved, and online, groups were already circulating a date for the next attempt.